Welcome to the Venus frequency, a Venus butterfly transmission. I'm so glad you're here. In this frequency, we choose clarity over confusion, presence over performance, and alignment over effort. We listen, we soften, we shift the frequency.
Frequency, feel it in me. Soft as a spell, I bloom, I breathe. Butterfly in energy, I don't chase, I receive. The Venus frequency.
Metamorphs, vibe with me on this because today I have 3 very important questions for you as we enter transmission 13 of what Venus taught us during her transit in Taurus. And listen, my lovelies, this one is for every place where your body has been trying to make sense of inconsistency. Not just in love, my party people, but inconsistency in work, money, friendships, family patterns, creative opportunities, in your relationship with visibility, inconsistency in your own habits, and in any place where the signal keeps changing and your body no longer knows whether it is coming or going. So sit tight because question number 1 is going to meet the part of you that's been arguing with the pattern. Okay? So question number 1 is, have you been calling something confusing when the confusion itself is already the signal? Tell the truth now. Because if you're picking up what I'm putting down, I want you to sit tight. Because question number 2 is about to meet the part of you that keeps waiting and waiting and waiting for consistency. So question number 2, party people, is, have you been waiting for consistency from a pattern that already told you the truth the first time? Ooh, child. If that one felt familiar, I don't want you to run away. I want you to stay with me because I'm going to support you through this thing. You know that, right? I'm going to help you get clear, okay? So the next question is laced with some truth, but we're not going to tap dance around it, okay? We're going to get into it. You ready? Question number 3 finally is, are you ready to stop treating mixed signals like a mystery and start treating them like a message? Okay? If you answered yes, party people, then you just might be ready for the frequency of mixed signals are clear signals. I'm going to go back because we missed the part. If you answered yes, party people, then you just might be ready for the da-da-da-da. Had to get that in there. The frequency of mixed signals are clear signals. We're going to have a little bit of fun, okay, people? Why so serious? Okay, it's not that deep. Okay, let's keep it going though. Because metamorphs, at some point, the pattern stops being confusing and starts being the truth. And that's where the real transmission actually begins, party people. So we're going to get through some things. We're going to work together. I'm a little congested, but I think you can still feel me. Okay? So you know the drill. I need to holler at you for a minute or 2 because, baby, mixed signals are clear signals. And yeah, I know. That might not be something you want to hear because sometimes we want the yes or the no to be absolute. We want the answer to be obvious. We want the pattern to announce itself loud and clearly. And we want the thing to say, this is aligned, or that is not aligned. So we don't have to sit with the discomfort of noticing what is already happening to us and sometimes for us. But like I said at the beginning of this thing, I hope you was listening, okay? Because mixed signals are clear signals. Inconsistency is information. Confusion is information. That stop and that start energy is, guess what? You guessed it, information. Words without action is information. Opportunities that look exciting but keep disturbing your peace is, guess what? Information. Okay? Creative ideas that light you up only to turn around and leave you feeling scattered is also information. Those money patterns that feel abundant one minute and avoided the next are information. Places where your body keeps bracing, guessing, tightening, checking, or preparing for disappointment. My babies, my lovelies, my metamorphs. It's all information. And baby, hear me clearly. Information is not the enemy. No. Information is what helps us stop romanticizing potential, over explaining reality, and calling instability a season we have to survive. Because Venus in Taurus did not come to teach us how to chase confusion. She ain't got no time for that. No. Venus in Taurus came to teach us how to embody value. And embodied value does not ignore the pattern just because potential is pretty. Let me say that again for the party people in the back. Embodied value does not ignore the pattern just because the potential is pretty. Because sometimes potential, the idea, the connection, the opportunity, the dream, and the vision are all beautiful, simply beautiful sometimes, gorgeous, okay? But the pattern the pattern still matters. Yes, the behavior still matters. The capacity still matters. And the way your body feels in the presence of it all still matters, people. Because what something could be is not the same as what it is showing you it can sustain. Okay? And that right there is where mixed signals can keep us stuck. Okay? Lost in the sauce. Stuck on stupid. Sometimes. Not all times, but sometimes. Okay? And mixed signals can make the mind work overtime. Have us out here putting in a 12-hour shift, just collecting evidence. We start replaying moments. We start comparing the good days to the hard days. We start trying to figure out which version is the real version. And we start talking to ourselves. We start asking ourselves, was that real? Did I misunderstand? Am I expecting too much? Is something changing? Should I be more patient? Oh, maybe should I just try again? Should I say more? Should I do more? Should I wait longer? Oh, should I give a little bit more grace? And listen, grace is sacred, patience is sacred, nuance is sacred, but self-abandonment is not. Okay? Confusion that repeatedly cost you your peace is not the same thing as being patient. Waiting on something to become consistent while it keeps showing you inconsistency is not discernment. Overriding your body because the possibility still looks good is not faith. Sometimes it is attachment dressed up as hope. And I say that to you with love because a lot of us were taught to value potential over patterns. We were taught to see what something could become instead of what it is consistently showing us. We were taught to be patient with crumbs because maybe one day they might become a meal, okay? We were taught to overfunction around inconsistency. We were taught to explain it, excuse it, soften it, spiritualize it, strategize around it. And sometimes, we even confuse the emotional highs and lows with depth. But Venus in Taurus is earth. Venus in Taurus is body. Venus in Taurus is evidence. Venus in Taurus access. Can peace live here? Can your body exhale here? Can your value be practiced here? My babies, can your softness be safe here? Can your resources be protected here? Your needs honored here? Can this man, this woman, this thing actually sustain what is promised? And not just once, not just when the energy is high, not just when the mood is good or when it's convenient, but consistently. We need to see this on most days, okay? Because consistency is where value becomes visible. And mixed signals do not always mean something is malicious. Hell to the no. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes, mixed signals mean someone lacks capacity. Sometimes mixed signals mean the timing is just not right. Okay? It can sometimes mean that the structure is not strong enough. The vision is not grounded. Sometimes mixed signals mean your desire is not moving faster. Sometimes mixed signals means your desire is moving faster than the evidence. Sometimes mixed signals mean your nervous system is trying to choose what is familiar over what feels safe and what has been proven to be safe. Sometimes mixed signals mean the thing is simply not aligned in its current form. And that's okay. Because none of this requires shame, party people. No. What it requires from us is honesty. Because the goal is not to become suspicious of everything. No. The goal is to become present enough to notice what is consistent and what is not. The goal is to stop turning confusion into a place where your energy gets trapped Because mixed signals are, what did I say they are? You listening? Mixed signals are clear signals. If the opportunity excites you but keeps pulling you out of your body, that is a signal. If the platform gives you one good day and then you start abandoning your creative rhythm, chasing the algorithm, that is a signal. If the friendship feels warm sometimes, but consistently leaves you depleted, that is a signal. If the work pays the bills, but keeps asking you to shrink and shrink and shrink your spirit until you are so small you can't even recognize yourself, that is a signal. If the habit controls you in the moment, but keeps costing you your stability later, that is a signal, my lovelies. If the relationship has beautiful moments, but the pattern keeps making your nervous system brace, that is a signal. If the dream is real, but the structure is missing, that is a signal. If your body keeps asking for rest and your ambition keeps calling it laziness, that is a signal. And in this season, we listen, we soften, we shift the frequency. Because sometimes clarity does not arrive as a dramatic revelation. Sometimes clarity arrives as a pattern you finally stop arguing with. Sometimes clarity arrives as the same discomfort, repeating and repeating and repeating until you believe it. Sometimes clarity arrives when you stop asking, what does this mean? And instead start asking, what does this consistently do? Ask yourself, what does this consistently bring out of me? What does this consistently require from me? What is this costing me? What does this consistently show me? What does my body consistently know here? Because the body keeps the standard, and the body does not only respond to words. I need you to feel me on that. The body responds to rhythm, behavior, safety, and consistency, and the body responds to the gap between what is promised and what is practiced. And my love, your body does not need to keep auditioning for certainty in a pattern that keeps giving confusion. You are allowed to honor that signal. Even if the signal is not what you hoped for, you are allowed to admit that something is not grounded enough to hold you. You are allowed to admit that something is beautiful but not sustainable. You are allowed to admit that something has potential but not enough practice. You are allowed to admit that something has moments but not rhythm. You are allowed to admit that something keeps pulling you out of alignment. You are allowed to admit that the mixed signal is the signal. And no, my lovelies, that does not mean, it does not always mean that you have to burn it down. Sometimes it means you need a boundary. You might need a pause, a conversation, more structure. Sometimes it means you need to stop investing more than the thing has proven it can hold. Sometimes it means you need to release the fantasy of what it could be and look at the reality of what it currently is. And that's not pessimism, that's discernment. It's embodied value. It's Taurus saying, show me what is real. Not because Taurus don't want us to dream, because Taurus can absolutely dream. But Taurus knows that a dream without roots cannot feed the body. And a butterfly does not keep circling the cocoon because the wind sent mixed signals. Nope, nobody, nope, nope, nope. She learns the direction that the wind is allowing her to fly, not because she hates where she started, but because her wings need space, rhythm, and truth. And some of us have outgrown the belief that confusion is romance. We've outgrown the belief that inconsistency is excitement. Potential is enough for us to build a home inside. We have outgrown the belief that our nervous system has to keep translating mixed signals into something softer than what they really are. So what we gonna do, party people? We gonna go on ahead and let those beliefs stay in the cocoon, please and thank you. Because mixed signals are, what did I say they are? You listening to me? You still with me? Mixed signals are clear signals. And when you let them be information, you stop making yourself responsible for solving what the pattern is already revealing. You stop forcing certainty from places that keeps choosing inconsistency. You stop calling your exhaustion patience. You stop calling anxiety intuition. You stop calling the high moments proof while ignoring the low pattern. You stop abandoning the body and what the body has been trying to tell you. This does not feel steady. This does not feel safe. This does not feel supported. This does not feel reciprocal. This does not feel aligned. And you begin to ask, what is the signal beneath the confusion? What is the pattern beneath the possibility? And what is the evidence beneath the desire? What is the truth beneath the hope? Because hope is sacred. But hope without discernment can become a place where we keep delaying our own freedom. And Venus in Taurus did not teach us to delay our freedom. She taught us instead to embody our value, to return to the body, to respect the evidence, to stop overriding the pattern, to build on what is real. So when the signals are mixed, pause, breathe, return to your body, look at the pattern, listen for what is consistent. Because the mixed signal may not be the mystery. The mixed signal just might be the message, okay? So here are today's B.Fly metamorphosisms. Let them meet you where they need to meet you. Mixed signals are clear signals. Confusion is information. Inconsistency is information. Start and stop energy is information. The pattern is information. I do not give or I do not ignore the pattern because the potential is beautiful. I do not call instability excitement. I do not call anxiety intuition. I do not call exhaustion patience. I do not build my peace on inconsistent evidence. I allow my body to tell the truth. I allow the pattern to reveal what is real. I allow consistency to matter. I release the belief that potential is enough. I release the habit of explaining away what keeps repeating. I release the need to force clarity from what keeps choosing confusion. I can honor the good moments without delaying the full pattern. I can appreciate the possibility without abandoning the evidence. I can have hope without surrendering discernment. My peace deserves rhythm. My softness deserves safety. My body deserves consistency. My value deserves practice. I trust myself. I choose myself. I let the signal be the signal. And so it is. This metamorphosis was inspired by the frequency of mixed signals are clear signals. I hope this frequency found you not in suspicion, but in discernment. Not in bitterness, but in embodiment. Not in fear of seeing clearly, but in the sacred remembrance that clarity does not always arrive as certainty. Sometimes clarity arrives as a pattern you finally stopped arguing with. Today's tarot highlight is the Two of Swords, and we are not entering the Two of Swords as a card to explain. We are entering it as an archetype to embody, because the Two of Swords is the moment between knowing and admitting. It's the pause where the mind may be undecided, but the body has already started gathering the truth. It is the crossed arms, the covered eyes, the stillness before the choice. The Two of Swords reminds us that avoidance can feel like peace when we are not ready to face the pattern or what the pattern has been showing us. But true peace does not require us to ignore information. True peace allows us to see. So today, the Two of Swords is asking us, where have you been calling something confusing because you are not ready to accept what it has consistently shown you? Where has your body already recognized a signal your mind is still trying to debate? And what would change if you allowed the pattern to be enough information? Breathe that in and let it settle where it needs to settle. And if you want to go deeper into this work, listen to Arcana 22 Initiations, available on most streaming platforms. And if you're feeling this frequency, please follow me, Venus B.Fly, or the Venus Butterfly Collective on your favorite social platform for more transmissions, rituals, and metamorphisms. And while you're there, party people, please share, like, follow, and subscribe so that you can stay tuned in into this frequency. And the next time we will enter the 14th transmission of what Venus taught us while transiting about in Taurus, and that is pattern over potential. Because what repeats deserves more weight than what could happen one day. So, all right, metamorphs, thank you for listening. Please know that I see you, I feel you, and I sure do appreciate you. The temple is now closed. Let what resonated stay with you, because you already know you don't need to hold on to the rest. Stay present, stay aligned, stay grounded, and I'll meet you right back here in the frequency.
The Venus we could see, feel it in me, soft as a spell. I breathe, I breathe. Ooh, butterfly energy. I don't change. I receive.